So Happy New Year, isn't it? No?
Happy New Year again. It was Happy New Year last time.
Oh.
But it's still January.
It is. Today we're going to talk about something that came to me in a dream. Probably a few days ago, I had a dream and me and Amy were recording one of these and we were talking about loveability as a topic. And we thought it was a great idea. Dream Amy was delighted. I was delighted. So I pitched it to Amy. She ignored me. And
I really don't remember that.
We're going to talk about it because obviously my dreams need to come true.
Yes.
As do yours. And as do yours. I think the reason that this has come in strong, like even from my subconscious as a topic to talk about, is just to bring it to people's awareness that if you're going through experiences that are uncomfortable, that are painful and that are difficult or stressful, or you're trying to get, relationships and you're trying to build friendships and you're trying to get to know people and you always feel like there's, something in the way, or you go for people that are unkind to you, and you just don't understand why, it could be a question around how you see yourself. And do you see yourself as lovable? Like, do you believe that you should be adored and cherished and treated well and respected? And do you see yourself as worthy of people really being good to you?
Mm.
Because if you don't, why? Why don't you? And look at that, and if you can, and if you feel you need it, get some support with unpicking why. Because you can't just sit in that pain and go, this is just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's such a defeatist way to look at it, and so many people use reality and examples as an excuse to stay where they are.
Yeah.
So they'll go, but every boyfriend I've had, including this one, treats me like shit.
Yeah.
It's not me, it's the situation. You attract your situations because of you. These people who want to treat people badly don't pick the ones who feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
They go for the people that will accept their treatment. I really want to just kind of pick this out and highlight it as an area to work on for everybody. Believe in yourself as being lovable, being worthy of being treated well, and to have people respect and be kind to you. Because if that's what you're putting out into the world, that you don't deserve any less.
Yeah.
You've got to believe that if you are a good person, and you know it that you are, even if there's been ways that people have treated you that have made you question it, because why would they treat me badly if I wasn't a good person? Everything that you do indicates that your actions indicate what kind of person you are. If you're a good person, then people need to be good to you. You need to be able to accept it.
It is a big process. It's not just like it's not an easy thing. You do need to think about things for a long time. And I mean, it's absolutely fascinating figuring out why you are the way you are. And what, it is so interesting.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's my favourite thing.
Yeah.
Is understanding why people do the things that they do, what they've been through, hearing people's stories, and they're so varied, and the way, it's not even necessarily the experience that's different, but the way that they perceive it. Why do you think that?
Yeah.
I would never think that.
Yeah.
If that exact thing happened to me, I took it like this.
Yeah.
It's like when you're standing there having a conversation and one person says something, there's you and your friend, and they turn around and go, it's a fucking problem. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Well, she just said, you know, you do it yourselves. And I was like,
yeah.
I took it as she was like, oh, you can do that yourselves.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just people hear things differently. It's so, everybody's fascinating to me. But what was it that you just said, and it made me think of something? Oh God, let's not even go down that path because I won't remember.
The one thing I do think is very important though is taking a certain amount of responsibility for, because obviously things happen to people that are out of everyone's control. You know,
life is
sometimes
out of
shit
everyone's
just
control.
happens, but I think obviously not necessarily taking responsibility for what's happened, but taking responsibility for how you act and move forward, because there is always things you can do to improve or deal better with the situation.
Yeah, it does boil down again to feeling like you are worth it. You're worth the effort.
Yeah.
Because if that was Lola and she wanted to do something, you wouldn't let it rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd be like, what do we need to do to make that a reality for you? And you would take 1,000 steps in order to get it to where it needs to be. And we know that from our co-parenting. We never stop.
Yeah.
We constantly do the doing. We do what needs to be done, even though we're frightened, even though sometimes it costs money, and even though it's like painstaking and hard work, we won't ever let it rest because it's for our children. Yeah. Because they're so lovable and they're so adorable and they so deserve everything and they're so worthy of everything. So if we start to see ourselves like that and really put ourselves forward as a candidate for that treatment from ourselves, everything would begin to shift. Because all of a sudden you're going, what you're saying is you're telling the powers that be, you're telling the universe that I deserve more than this. And as soon as you do that, more than this comes in. Opportunities open up and you can meet new friends and you can go on dates with better people. But you've got to change something. Yeah. And the one thing that I would really recommend as a first step for anyone that feels really lost in how do I, you know how, but you can't yet. Yeah. Because you're trapped. You've trapped yourself. Your mind is trapped. Tell yourself every single day, no matter how much of a lie it feels, I'm lovable, I'm worthy, I deserve to be treated well. I'm a good person. If you put I am in front of things, it's like an ownership thing and you will begin to believe that. So if you were like every single day you said like, I am woman, hear me roar, I've got a powerful voice, I have something to say, like eventually it becomes part of your makeup and you start to behave in a way that supports the I am statement. Like, I am a strong woman, I am a strong, powerful woman. And the next time someone pushes in, you're like, excuse me, I was there. And you're like, oh, where did that come from? But it's because in your heart, you've been reminding yourself that I am a powerful woman because you are. You've just been shown different experiences that have made you believe that you're not. But of course you were born that way. And it's that I am deserving and worthy of someone to be so good to me and so loving towards me and to be treated well. That's what I believe. And so all of a sudden when somebody goes, oh, I'm going to be an hour late, you'll be like, that feels wrong to me. Yeah. Because I know that I deserve love and that I deserve good treatment. I wouldn't ever treat somebody like that. If I were to be an hour late, I would message and say, I'm so sorry, I apologise, this has happened, which has now delayed me for an hour. I just wanted to let you know, and I'll be there as soon as I can. Treat people with respect, expect the same in return. And if it doesn't happen, and you've told yourself over and over again, you've written it on the mirror, you say it out loud every day, I deserve to be treated the way others, you know, the way I treat other people. Yeah. And I deserve the same respect that I give other people. I am a good person. I have a warm heart. then when somebody does that to you, it's not going to feel so comfortable, because you're starting to build yourself up, rather than sitting there going, yeah, well, you know, my dad used to do that to my mum, and my brother does that to my sister-in-law, and oh, you know, it's just the way it is, and not taking yourself into consideration. Like, how did that make you feel?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine, it's fine. You can ask and ask and ask, and people go, oh, it's fine. No, it's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind. But when you get to the bottom of it, how do you actually feel about that? Well, I feel really let down.
Yeah.
I feel worthless. I feel like the pub is more important than me. I feel like he doesn't care about me. I feel like he doesn't love or respect me. I feel like nothing. And so if you're in that relationship where that pattern is happening, and you're just putting on a brave face and not tapping in to how things make you feel, it's going to continue. And underneath, all the pain is there, and you can't rise out of it. And then you wonder why you've got depression.
Yeah.
You wonder why you feel so sad, and why you can't connect to your partner, and why you've got no energy, because you've got no fight in you. Because what's the point? Every time I say come home and he doesn't come home, it just chips away at me. You've got to push forward and go, how do I actually feel? I deserve more than that, because I was born. He thinks he can take, and he's nothing special. Why can't I have something? It's only fair. It's only fair. We weren't born unequal. Everyone's born equal. It's just the way that things, society, situations, experiences, friends, family, where you live, the year that you live in, the era, it shapes and moulds us. And if it does it in a positive way, then great.
Yeah.
But if it leaves you feeling empty, low, like you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you don't deserve something, question it. Question it. And look at, if someone's treating you a certain way, would I ever do that to them?
Yeah.
How would I feel if that situation was my child? If one of my kids, if Paige came home and said, I invited him round, he said he'd be home at 8. So I got myself all ready, put my makeup on, and I got a bit of food on the go, and I was looking forward to, we were going to watch a programme. And then he messaged at 8:30 and said, I'm going to be an hour late. And so I just put the dinner in the oven to keep warm, and I reapplied my lipstick, and I just waited, and I said, how did that make you feel, Don? Oh, it was fine. Well, I don't know about you, but that sends me into a right tizzy inside, because I'd be like, that couldn't be further from the level that you are to expect. And I have done something very, very wrong as your mother, if that is what you're putting up with. And lo and behold, just a year and a half hence, I had that exact situation. And it was even more entertaining than that. It was 8:30, 9, 10, 11. Can I have a shower? I went and got a towel out for him, and then he never turned up.
Oh my God!
I had a missed call at 1 o'clock in the morning, which I didn't see, and then the next day he was like, "You all right?" I went, "Yeah, all good. How are you? We still on for today?"
Are you being serious? Are you being serious?
I also had 2 bin liners full of his washing that I had taken home with me from his place and done for him as a little surprise, because I was so kind.
Fucking hell. Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
oh my God.
And he was a nice guy. What was that? I accepted it. I let it happen.
Wow.
I let that scenario play out. I let it happen because it was better than what I'd had. And actually, that is a lie. It wasn't a year and a half. It was more like 3 years ago that happened. But literally, that was what my baseline was. That was an improvement on how I'd been treated before. So that was a level up.
Hell.
But I felt very uncomfortable. I was upset. I just didn't acknowledge any of it because I felt like I'm grateful for him to not shout at me, you know, or for him to even text and say that he's running late. You know, I wasn't used to that. I was used to, are you alive? Are you ever coming back? You know, and then when they came back, I'd be glad that they were okay. You okay? Like, where have you been? I was worried about you. And then I would never do that to anybody or treat anybody in that way. It's funny that you're so gobsmacked because,
I can't believe it.
but also because you know me now. You know that it's shocking because you're like, really, bitch? Like, and I feel that way. I agree. I did not feel lovable.
Yeah.
I did not feel like I was worthy, but I had no idea. I just thought I was unlucky with men. I also thought it was the area that I live in, that's the way that men are. Even though I've got a brother who was brought up in this area who would never treat a woman that way.
Yeah.
Ever. Never. I still didn't see it. I didn't see it because I wasn't even worthy of bothering with. Why would I care about me? Why would I care about me? I'm just here for others. I don't matter. How I feel doesn't matter. And it's, you know, if you're brought up in a children should be seen and not heard kind of environment, if I was upset, it was kind of irrelevant. You know, like, get on with it. You've got to go to school.
Yeah.
Well, I'm being bullied at school. I didn't even want to say it because I didn't want to cause a problem.
Yeah.
So how I felt didn't matter. You know, that's how I felt, and that's just gone on and on and on. Paige, I instill in her every day. Like she said to me this morning, I had a bit of a tummy ache last night. I went, what, when you went to bed? And she went, yeah. And I went, why didn't you tell me? She went, I didn't want to distract you. And I went, darling, you are the most important thing. You cannot distract me from anything. If you don't feel well, you tell me. I don't care what I'm doing. When I picked her up from school on Friday, she went, I'm sorry that you didn't get to work, Mummy. I went, you're more important than work. If you're not well, work is second.
Yeah.
Work is third, work is fourth. It's the last thing I'm going to worry about if you don't feel well. Because she needs to know that. Because then her feelings do matter. She is good enough for me to not go, oh, well, I'm not picking her up.
Yeah.
You know, I've got work to do. And I know that we've got to earn money, but we also need to raise our children in a way that makes them feel solid and secure. Because this is how we're going to get a generation of really well-rounded people.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we did that, honestly, if we imagine a world where parents or parent, depending, raise their kids in this way where they really felt like they were good enough, that they could achieve anything, they could be successful in whatever field that they put their mind to, that they mattered, that they were worthy, we wouldn't have so many of the problems in society that we do now, because it all comes from this really like horrible feeling that they've got, that they need to fix with external stuff, this emptiness of love and worthiness. And I know worthiness is like a weird word to use, and it just means that knowing that you're good enough. Yeah. That I can, if I want to, because I'm good enough. I can. It's like that motivating, driven feeling of, well, there's no stopping me, and knowing how much potential you've got. If you just don't feel worthy, you're going to lay there and let people shit all over you. Yeah. And why wouldn't they? Because why wouldn't they? Yeah. This person had the same treatment and I'm no better than them. And it's like, oh gosh. You know, what I would not tolerate Paige being treated in that way. Yeah. I just couldn't. And so that's a really good indicator.
Yeah.
Because it's really difficult when you have a low sense of self-worth. When I first went counselling, she'd try and make a point to me about, do you think that that behaviour was okay? And I would say, yeah, it's fine. You know, it's fine. She couldn't get through like that because my belief was so ingrained. She was questioning it, but I've had 31 years of believing it every day.
Yeah.
So your question is bouncing off of me. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Me as a person, I don't know what you mean by that. But when she brought Paige in, she'd go, so what about if, and I would cry my eyes out, I'd be furious, all my emotions, all my feelings would come out of how I actually felt. I'd be like, I would be livid, I'd be so angry, I wouldn't let it rest, I wouldn't stop, I'd be, you know, all my fight, all my passion, all my locked up, you know, anger at this mistreatment of myself, I would pour out because I could see it from the point of view of someone who does deserve that respect. Not even being able to connect the fact that I do.
Yeah.
Isn't that a scary thought?
Yeah.
So I really, really, I implore people to think about somebody in their life, even if it be an animal or a pet, that you have that level of love for, and just imagine that they are being treated by someone or by people the way that you tolerate being treated, and see how that makes you feel and see what it does, and really sit with it for a minute and embody it and be empathetic about it. Like, how would I feel if I saw that being done to a really close friend of mine, to my mum, you know, to my baby? Because if you aren't comfortable with that, then you don't put up with it. You don't put up with it yourself. You absolutely don't tolerate it yourself, because you deserve love. Everybody does.
Yes. Yeah.
Except some really, really, really vile fucking humans, but they are the exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe Hitler didn't deserve your love. Maybe not.
Maybe if he'd got love.
Maybe if he had got love.
Like that.
Because I believe that he had a very, very disruptive and volatile upbringing. But we won't go into Hitler. But yes, so I'm very, very passionate about that, and it's so simple. Say to yourself, remind yourself, at what point did you lose this lovability? At what age did you become unlovable, unrespectable, unworthy? When you were a gorgeous little 3-year-old? Little 5-year-old, little 8-year-old, 10-year-old? What did you do that was so bad?
Yeah.
What did you do wrong? What are you blaming yourself for that you don't deserve to stay with that feeling? Why? Is it your fault? Why is it you? It's not. I can guarantee that it's not. It's just the way that we make what we make sense of, and then we do it as kids and we carry it and we don't look at it again. And if you've got that lack of worthiness, you don't even think you deserve to investigate it. You don't think you deserve to lead a better life and to feel better. But I promise you that you do.
Yes, you do. You do.
You do. You do.
You do.
I do.
I do.
And it's so much nicer once you realise it.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It opens up, it's like the sun comes out.
Yeah.
And it's a slow process, but it's so worth it.
Yeah.
But as per usual, if you ever have any questions or if you have any thoughts on it, did this help you? Did you choose to do the exercises that I've set out, which is to affirm to yourself all of these positive things as I am, and to really question the behaviour and the treatment of other people? There's 2 things to do there that you can take away. Do it for a week and see how you feel, and let us know, because I'd love to know.
Yes, yeah.
And yes, otherwise we'll see you next time on the Epic Mum Chat. Bye.